talk about, is it possible to put your autoimmune disease in remission? Is it possible to feel good again and to not live in this maybe miserable or not thriving life that you are living? But before we get started, if you're new to our community, we just want to introduce ourselves. My name is Casey Kephart. I'm the founder of the Feel Good Formula, and I'm a functional medicine nutritionist. I work with women with all sorts of autoimmune diseases to get you back to the activities you love to do, get your life back, and trash those symptoms. So just by that, you can tell that putting your autoimmune disease in remission is possible. And I reside in St. Petersburg, Florida. Jessica?
And I'm Jessica Melnick. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, the founder of the Anti-Arthritis Method, the host of the Happy Joints Arthritis Solutions Group, and I help both women and men with various forms of arthritis get back to living life the way they choose to, not the way they have to.
Awesome. So if anybody can leave us a comment, we would love to hear what your thoughts are on putting your autoimmune disease in remission, and if you think that's possible, just depending on what your doctor has said or what you believe, what the media has said, what are kind of your thoughts? And you can do this if you're hitting the replay or watching live right now. But we all have a different opinion, and Jessica and I are sharing our opinion, but it's just more than opinion. It's more of what we've seen in our experience with ourselves, but also working with our clients. And we do know that it is possible to feel good again and to live a full and thriving life when you know what your body is telling you, what your body needs, what your body doesn't need, and practicing those nutrition and lifestyle factors for the rest of your life and being consistent. So a lot of times we go to the doctor and we try to get diagnosed, right? We go from doctor to doctor to doctor, from test to test to test, to finally find out that we have an autoimmune disease. And then we expect to feel better once we have a diagnosis, right? Like, oh, the doctor will know exactly what to do. They'll put me on this. They'll tell me to do this. And I will just go back to playing all my sports or running with my children or working 2 jobs. And that doesn't necessarily happen for the majority of us with a chronic inflammatory disease. And we often hear that we need to be on this pill for the rest of our lives to just manage our pain, not even to eliminate it or decrease it, but just to help manage it, or take this cream for the rest of your life, or you're just going to have to live with this, or it's all in your head. Like all of these things we've heard over and over and over again. So that leaves us with no hope or really no guidance. And when we have no hope or guidance, our autoimmune disease can flare. Our autoimmune disease can get worse. Our symptoms, our arthritis, our pain, our fatigue, whatever it is for you, we need a sense of hope in our life that we are going to feel better, that we are going to live a full life. That's just who we are as creatures and humans and mammalians and all that you believe we are. But so Jessica, do you want to go into how we put our autoimmune disease in remission and how we keep it there?
Yeah, so it sounds easier than it is. It's a simple process, but it does take effort. And that's why Casey and I both have the programs that we do, so we can support our clients through this process. Because again, it is simple, but it can be challenging as you're adjusting to kind of like a new way of eating, a new way of living, and making it work in your life. So that's what we're really supporting our clients to do, so that they can really be consistent and stick with the plan, so that they do get the results that they so desperately want. So I would say most of my clients come to me either because they've tried medications and they've had really bad reactions to it, or they've been on medications for a long time and they've stopped being effective, or they've started having really bad side effects like organ damage. And I also have clients that come to me who are just really scared to take medication because of the risks, and they want to be able to have an alternative. And so what we do is really teach them how to eat for arthritis. It is a very specific way that is different than what we've grown up being taught as a healthy diet. So we eat according to arthritis. And this is also what Casey does with her clients. We use the same nutrition protocol because it works for autoimmunity in general. It is very effective. But again, it's simple, but it does take some effort and some adjustment. So we really help you through that so that we can make it as easy as possible and really help you integrate it into your life. Because that's the thing, we're not going to stick to it unless we can actually make it work in our lives as they currently are. So that is really, really key. And Casey and I ourselves with autoimmune conditions have had to learn over many years how to keep integrating it and making it work into our lives, especially because our lives change. Things are always changing. And so you're always trying to shift things and make things work, going with the flow of your life and with the changes in your life. And you learn things new all the time. In terms of like eating, I'm always learning new recipes and trying new recipes because I really enjoy eating and I want to enjoy the food that I'm eating. And I know that most of my clients do as well. So it is about eating in a way that is really keeping your joints healthy, keeping your flare-ups away, but also being able to stick with it because you actually like what you're eating and you like what you're doing and you're getting great results. So yes, in my experience with my clients, you can definitely put your symptoms into remission. Of course, we can't claim that there's a cure for any of these autoimmune conditions or arthritis, but you can really, really get to a point where you're managing it in a way that you have an excellent quality of life and you can do the things that you want to do without being hindered by your symptoms. So very, very possible.
Yeah. I would say the main thing out of what you said is consistency. We need to stay consistent to put our autoimmune disease in remission, but to also keep it in remission. And like Jessica said, it is all possible, but we need to do the things every single day. And throughout our programs or throughout your journey, you are going to find the things that keep you feeling good and that you need to do every single day. And these things range from nutrition to lifestyle practices. And Jessica and I both teach on both of those things because you can't just do the nutrition without the lifestyle practices or vice versa. They go hand in hand and you need both when healing arthritis or an autoimmune disease. So I would say the main takeaway here, if it were me, would be consistency of all the things that make you feel good to keep yourself in remission and to keep feeling good. And I know I'm going to speak for you, Jessica, but for both of us, stress is the number one thing that puts us into a tailspin and has a flare for us. And so that happens when we're not doing our stress management practices enough, or when we realize we're ramping up that self-care for us, and that's when things start to go awry. So it's not to say that you won't have these hiccups because the healing journey is kind of like an EKG. It goes up and down and up and down, but you know why it goes up. And then you know why it goes down. This is all part of just learning yourself and this journey that you're on. And I would like to say that probably people with a chronic inflammatory disease that have really honed in and done the healing journey probably know themselves better than just a person on the street who doesn't have to go through this healing journey. Because it is the goal to know yourself inside and out and what your body is feeling and why it feels this way and what you need to do and what helps and what doesn't. And you're probably thinking right now, wow, I have no idea, or this is scary. This is too much work. I don't even know where to start. That's why we're here. And that's why healthcare practitioners exist too. To help guide you through this. And Jessica and I have been through it 10 plus years, and we've had that experience, and we're here to fast track that experience for you so you can feel better in a quicker amount of time than 10 years. So it is a very a very, I would say, smart decision to learn from somebody and to be guided from somebody who has gone through this and does have the education to back them up as well.
Exactly. It's like hiring a plumber when you have a plumbing problem. You're not, if you could try to do it yourself, you could try to watch a zillion YouTube videos and spend hours and hours and hours. But it's a lot easier and more time efficient to hire a professional to get the job done in a lot quicker time and probably correctly the first time. So,
though, too, like we just said, stress can ramp up an autoimmune disease, and why go through the stress of doing this by yourself?
exactly.
So just a testimonial real quick on putting your autoimmune disease in remission. I always love going back to my grandma, one, because I love her dearly, and two, because she is such an inspiration for everybody. She is turning 79 this year in August. And she has been doing, she started with AIP, the protocol we do, and then she modified it to a paleo version for the past almost 10 years now. And she's on no medications. She has no pain. She is thriving in life. She goes to walk. She was doing yoga. Her brain is probably better than mine. She could be 50 if somebody mistaked her for that. So that is all to say that her diet is the number one thing that she has focused on for the past 10 years that has led her to taking no medication, when all of her friends who are 80 or in that range are slowly dying and on all of this medication, have to go into a home and are crippled and a walker and all of these things. And she's trying to find friends who are 50 years old because that's more in her wheelhouse right now in her health. So it goes to say that your diet and your lifestyle have an immense reaction on your body. And Jessica, I know you have some other people you want to mention too.
Yeah, I've been really blessed over the last few years to have clients. And I always say my clients are the best because they do the work, they reach out for support, and they get the results. And it's so rewarding and so exciting to see their improvements and hear about how their lives have changed for the better because of how they're looking after themselves and with their efforts in the program. And I have one client that it really stands out to me because a lot of times, depending on the doctors we have, sometimes they can be a little more closed-minded and, tell you that medication is the only option or that they won't work with you unless you stay on medications. Well, I have one client who had quite an open-minded rheumatologist, and she actually released my client from her care because she was doing so well. All of her inflammatory numbers had significantly dropped, and she was able to go off of her medication with her doctor's approval. And her doctor released her from her care because she said that she didn't need her help anymore. So that was super, super exciting, really inspiring. I do have numerous clients that have been able to go off medications or reduce their medications because they have adjusted their diet and their inflammation has gone down, and they've tweaked their lifestyle as needed to make sure that they are taking care of themselves. And it's just really wonderful to see. And I know that's how Casey and I also retain a great quality of life is, we look after ourselves. And that's not to say that we don't ever fall off plan or do things like we should all the time, but you get right back, with the next meal or the next day, you get right back on it, you get right back on plan. And so that you keep your body strong so that you're able to keep those flare-ups away. And I think, over the years, Casey and I have really learned for ourselves what our triggers are and what we really do need to stay away with, what kind of things are non-negotiable for us, and what are some of the things that we have more leeway that we can get away with a little bit, like I really enjoy wine. I can get away with some wine, but not too much. So there's definitely limits. Sometimes I can eat certain foods as an occasional treat and, not have a flare up. And I also know that if I was to continue to do those things on a daily basis for a period of time, I would throw myself into a flare up. So you really learn your body over time, and it's really a magnificent organism. And there's so many ways that you can really help your body work for you instead of against you.
Yeah, definitely. So again, we'd love to hear in the comments kind of maybe what you thought about this, but also what your views are on putting your arthritis and autoimmune disease in remission. And if you think it's possible for you, we'd also love to talk to you if you do need some more hope or guidance or are interested in what we do and would like to work with us. So please let us know in the comments, whether you're watching the live right now or hitting the replay. And Jessica will be back on Thursday with another video for you. And we will talk to you then.
Amazing. Take care, everyone.